everyone. Woo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I echoing at all? Okay. Sorry, I thought I was echoing for a second and I was like, "Ooh, not good for the stream." But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the weekly chatty sprints. Minus Stieg. Unfortunately, he's off doing hot girl shit.
No, he's in the comments, babe.
Literally.
I just saw
Hey.
him.
Oh, true. Stieg, get your ass over here.
Hello.
But also, love you, and your hair looks fantastic. If you're not following Stieg on Instagram, there's a link in the description. You can go follow him and look at his awesome hair. I don't know if he actually posted the real hair thing there, but you can look at all the hot girl shit he's doing. Anyway, I feel like y'all already know who we are. I literally see all the familiar faces in here. But do you want to do a quick intro anyway?
No.
Okay. Wallissimo.
Sure. So I'm Wallissimo. I pointed in the wrong freaking direction. And yeah, instead of doing like an introduction, because I'm assuming all of you guys already know who I am, I'll just give you channel updates so you can go check out the channel if you're curious. But basically for the next 5 months, I'm going to be writing little short stories every week and doing writing vlogs of those short stories. So go check that out if you're interested. All the short stories are based off of chocolate bars from this department store in England, and it's super bougie and super fun. So go check those out if you're interested. That's it for me.
Those videos are really good. All the links are down in the description if you're somehow not already following us. And yeah, I'm Katie. I'm doing VEDIF, a video every day in February. So get ready to see my face every single day.
This doesn't count as one of the videos.
No, it totally counts, right?
No,
No.
we said not all of her subscribers watch live streams, so she should also do a.
What?
I'm all about giving people extra work.
I'm all about giving people so much content. There is a video coming out today at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a fun time. And if you haven't already watched the other 2 videos, how are you not already watched them? Like, come on. I'm clearly your favorite YouTuber. Just kidding.
You want to give us a teaser what today's video is going to be?
Oh, I could. It's about how I rate books.
Okay. I feel like that's very vague, but it's fine.
I mean, like, how I rate. It's like really like simple how I rate books. Though.
Videos about how we write books.
How I rate.
Like when she reads them, how she rates them.
Wait, Katie. Hold up, though. Don't get mad at me, but I'm literally uploading the exact same video tomorrow.
Oh my god, you're kidding me.
Is that okay? I can.
Yeah. Oh my god, no, I don't care. That's so funny. We both had the independent thought. Well, I think it'll be interesting though to see how how we rate books differ.
That's true. Okay, but it's so funny because initially this week, because I got off track with the chocolate short stories. I didn't get off track. My internet was messed up last week, which is why I couldn't upload. I'm telling the truth. I promise. But so then I was like, but I don't want to do 2 in a week. What can I do? And then yesterday I was literally like, I'm going to film on Wednesday how I rate books. That's such an easy one to do. I don't have to like buy anything for that. It's not going to be super hard to edit, but I haven't even filmed it yet. So if you don't want me to do that, I will not do it. Okay.
No, you can do it. I don't care.
Okay.
But I mean, now I just can't tell you what my rating system is.
Well, I already know my rating system. I
know. I was joking.
And I'm going to watch the video.
Yeah, I know. I was joking that you were going to steal my rating system, which if we happen to have the same rating system, which I don't think we do, but that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Anyway, let's say hello to the comments.
Yes.
First of all, Stieg, hi, I'm the 13th flavor of Hercules. At least that's what your dad called me last night. Stieg. My name is Stieg.
Inappropriate.
I love it. So he really is here in spirit. He's given us his intro, lowering the tone immediately. I love it.
Can you not live stream from wherever you are? That would be kind of funny. Can you not?
He just comes in here. He's literally sitting in the hairdressers.
Yes, just pop in on your cell phone. I do that all the time when we're just hanging out.
Yeah. Sako is here, or was earlier at 9 o'clock. Hello. I don't think I've seen you in the stream before, but I certainly watched your streams.
I like your picture, the duality of cartoons. Look at that.
Monster and human. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, AS Renner. I know, minus Steve, so sad. Good morning, Violet. I just watched her 10K in a day video, which was very fun. I'm watching that this morning. Man Spirit. Hello, Scythe. Hello, Renata. Oh, classes right now. I want to say hello. Well, hello. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Ah!
Hi! Oh my gosh. And we are
On
complete.
the go.
Oh my gosh, your hair looks so good. Look at that. Can you give us a little shake
A
out?
hair tour?
I'm in public, so no.
Anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for popping on. This is fantastic. This is
Oh
so
my gosh.
See you
Hi.
later. Toodles.
Bye.
That is so fun.
That's awesome.
Anyway, there's a Steeg.
There was a Steeg.
There was a Steeg. Hi, Miranda. There's hello, Alexis. Oh, I am way behind in the comments. Now it's a collab. Oh, there we go. Miranda thinking through all the stuff. That's amazing. I can't wait for these videos. I feel like everyone's hyping up Vedif when it's just gonna be like me chatting shit for 30 days or 28 days.
Sometimes
Only 28.
people want.
I mean, I'll give the people what they want. I almost put my hair in pigtails today, but then I decided not to because
I think it's such a cute look on you. Again, my whole thing was that it's such a February hairstyle. It's like it would be what I would wear to school on Valentine's Day. That kind of like pigtail back cute hairstyle. I thought it was really cute.
Do you know how
it's a
to
look.
do you know how to braid? Maybe try like braiding the sections first and then like having them be pigtails.
Ooh, that actually would be cute. I might try to do that. Yeah. Because I do know how to braid. I mean, I'm kind of mediocre at braiding, but I can braid.
I can't braid. Like I can do low braids, but I can't do braids that start up here because my arms get too tired. I think you need to start lifting weights, people.
No, you just need to do that 45-minute yoga workout twice a
Oh
week.
my God.
Yeah.
I know. I've decided that I'm going to do them on Thursdays and Sundays, and it's looming on me tomorrow. And I'm like, maybe not.
Yes, do it.
Go back to the comments. Mentally connected.
Mentally connected. Yep. I know what they say about great minds.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got my brand new Twitter account banned for, wait for it, following people. Is that the point of Twitter? It hurt itself in confusion. That is so odd.
Following, or was it you were just following like a lot of people, so they thought you were a bot or something?
Yeah, maybe you're just following too many people at once, and they thought you like spam.
Yeah, that's possible. But that's kind of, I mean, Twitter's a time.
It sure is.
Hello, Regina. I was
Good morning.
Honestly, I commend you for waking up at all, because isn't it like 6:30?
Yeah.
Mountain time, 7:30.
7:30. Great trio.
Unless she's.
I think. Isn't she in Nevada?
She's in Nevada. Yeah.
But is there like a little sliver of Nevada that's Pacific and not mountain?
I don't know, man.
Not that sliver of Wallace.
Fair enough.
These are to Stieg and his incredible, beautiful hair and him popping on in public.
That was awesome.
Hello, Leah. Hello, precious cousins. Hi, Tosh. I know, I just saw that you... Sorry, I did not see your message because she couldn't find the stream. Because I didn't update the link tree yet. And it's been a day. Y'all. It's fine. Ooh, question for my favorite Reddit folk. Anyone seen the coincidental written as coincidental when talking about all that is about all relations to real people in books? Wait, what? Am I dumb?
No, I'm trying to parse it. Question for any Reddit folk.
Oh, okay. So is there a hyphen in between?
that when talking about that, all relations to real people is coincidental, is what I'm trying to say, is what I think they're trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
just like, I don't think so. Hold on, but like, that's in a normal book. Let me get a normal book and I can, oh, and I just read The Paris Hours and like they have Ernest Hemingway in there. Hold on.
Yeah, this book is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead is purely coincidence. I didn't. Whoa, I'm not thinking that. I don't have a book near me. Damn it! I just put all my TBR books away.
Okay, I have The Paris Hours that has both fictional and fictionalized real people. So we're going to consult. It says verbatim. Here we go. This is a work of fiction. All characters, organizations, and events portrayed in this novel are either products of the author's imagination or used fictitiously. So, different language than what you were aiming for. Sorry, that wasn't helpful.
I really think she's asking about the spelling of coincidence.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I don't think it is.
Yeah. Has anyone seen it written as coincidental with the dash? Asking.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. I agree with your interpretation of the question, but I don't think that is how it is spelled. But I can check more books.
I mean, is it just because it's on a different line, like it's a line break? Because, they'll do a dash in between if, like, the word is broken up.
Possibly.
I mean, that could be why it's seen spelled like that.
Look at us. Brain power.
Thinking thoughts. Tasha's looking through all of her books now. Yeah, it's the hyphen. And that's what I thought. I was like, a hyphen is a strange time. Siri says no hyphen. Hey Siri, does coincidental have a hyphen? Oh, shush. Regina already did it, Siri.
Okay, I looked through like 6 books. All of them had the exact same language as the Paris Hours, but I have finally found a book that has the word coincidental in its disclaimer. It's The Rules for Vanishing. I haven't read it. I'm saving it for Halloween, if anyone was curious. And it does not have a dash. It just says names, characters, places, etc., and any resemblance to actual persons living or dead is entirely coincidental, no dash.
What book are you reading, Crystal?
Yeah.
Your hyphen is throwing us all off.
Oh, but it's all one line. What's the book? Can you tell us what the book is? Yeah, books. Miranda's books don't have hyphens. Tasha's checking all of her books. Not hasn't seen a hyphen yet. Also, Nevada is all Pacific time, so it is 6:30.
Ah, look at me being.
Yes. Oh, and for a quick context with Tosh, who's asking what happened to Steve, he decided that getting.
Don't joke about that. That's not funny.
He decided that going to the hairstylist and getting his hair all beautifully blonded, bleached, that's the word, was more important than doing hot girl shit with us.
Oh, man.
Also, Alexis only followed 3 people. What?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Twitter really fucked up on that one.
So, I don't know if you guys...
So funny.
I don't know if you have this problem, but TikTok, when you try and follow someone, sometimes it'll like give you a little message like, you're going too fast, slow down. Mm-hmm. And that makes me so angry because I don't follow, I follow a lot of people, but I'm not like constantly following people from videos I see. I would say I follow new people maybe like once or twice in a session, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that I click the little plus button on TikTok to follow them and it just sits there for 5 seconds. I'm like, oh, it must not have registered my plus. And then I click it again and then TikTok's all aggressive and judgy, like, you're going too fast, slow down. I'm like, no, bitch, you're going too freaking slow. You need to register my follow. Anyway, that's my little gripe for the day.
There we go. A TikTok gripe.
Yep, nothing writing related, just a TikTok gripe.
I love that. Love good TikTok gripes. Never read that page before. I read those pages. I read every page in the book. I mean, I skim. I'm not looking at every single number and registering it. But I like to look, especially because I think, and I don't know if this is always true or what this is, if this is just true for the specific author, but back when I read like romance novels, I would read, what the fuck's her name? J.R. Ward. Her real name isn't J.R. Ward. I forget what her real name is anyway, but I read the thing and it looks, her real name is put in the front section of the book as opposed to her pen name.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which I don't know why that is, but I find it fascinating. Maybe it's just like her preference. I don't know. Because she writes under like 6 different names. Anyway. Oh, it's Crystal's book. Oh, interesting. So when I wrote a long time ago, that was published by a skeezy publisher. I'm doing a look back on the project and saw that. Oh my goodness, that's fascinating.
It is fascinating. But also, I'm so curious about skeezy publisher.
I know. Can you do a story time for us?
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that?
Some author trying to be clever playing with the word. That's what I thought too. I was like, are they trying to be like, I don't know, like funny with it? And maybe I'm not that smart to figure out what the joke is, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, what's the joke though? I don't get it.
Who's your favorite TikTok?
Me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't make TikToks. Who is my favorite TikTok? The problem with this question is I'm gonna say an answer now and then later realize it's completely wrong. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna give this answer. There's a girl, and I wish I could tell you her name, but she is a writer, but she also plays D&D, and she does a lot of like the like bathroom rants where she like zooms in the bathroom and chats with the mirror. But like the way she talks and the way she talks about DMing her D&D campaigns, I am just so envious of the people who get to be in her DM campaign because I feel like she would be such a fun person to just listen to talk because she has that kind of ability to play around with language in the way where it's not structured poetry, but it's just beautiful to listen to. It's an understanding of how the words flow together that just, and while still retaining meaning. She's amazing. I love watching her videos. I will always watch her videos. You know, there's some people I follow where sometimes I don't stick around to watch the whole one, but I will always watch her videos. And if I can find her name, I will put it in the comments.
I definitely think I've seen her because I think she did a video on like how to describe like color, or not color, but like skin color. And like she like did like this whole, and I'm like, she just like flowed from like her advice into like giving an example. And I'm like,
yep.
Where's your book? Where can I buy it?
Yep. That is, you know exactly who I'm talking about then.
Yep. She's great. I don't follow her, which weirdly enough, or else I would look her up. But yeah, my favorite one currently is Straw Hat Goofy. He does movie reviews, and they're so chef's kiss good. He's so funny. Anyway, in case anyone was curious.
I was like, how many people do I think I follow? I think I probably follow about 300 people, right? And that was, to me, that was a high estimate. I freaking follow 754 people.
I need to look at how many I follow.
Wait, and now I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to find this girl? Oh no, it's gonna be impossible.
I follow 1,153 people on TikTok.
I follow 250. I just follow 270.
Listen, okay, in my defense, whenever I see a Black girl on my For You page, I just follow her. And, you know, they add up.
Fair enough. Fair. Honestly, yeah. I feel this so much. Who's your favorite TikToker, Devasia?
I don't want to say he's my favorite, but I'm enjoying his videos right now. The guy who guesses people's heights.
Oh yeah, those are good.
I have not seen those. How do I get on height TikTok?
He like literally, and it's literally unbelievable, Katie, where it's like literally someone will be in a video and they'll be holding like a thimble, or not. Okay, let's be a little less generic. They'll be
like
holding
a ladder. They'll hold a ladder or something.
Or they'll be holding a specific type of cell phone that's kind of unusual, and the guy will go on. No, this is why. Like someone was holding a bottle of shaving cream, And he went onto Amazon and found that exact bottle shaving cream and looked at the dimensions and then did like all this mathematical analysis on the actual photograph, comparing how like tall the guy was compared to the level of the shaving cream. It was unbelievable. And I don't know if he's actually being accurate or if he's just like joking around the whole time, because I've never seen a video where one of his guesses is verified, but it's always a good time watching them. So
No, every time I've seen like the person he's doing like do edit, they say that he's accurate.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so cool. Yeah, those are fun videos.
I'm gonna have to find him then. You know, Miranda, if he's really annoying you, you can block it. You can go and block that. Yeah, you can click on like the icon thing and it takes you to the profile and you can block them. That's what I did. I no longer get messages like you've been scrolling for too long.
I have to keep those in there because I need the app to judge me to get me to get off. So I got to keep them in there.
See, I just set a timer on like I have a timer for the app itself that like pops up like, oh, your TikTok time has run up.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, thank you, Regina. You're so nice. Ah, real names. All my copyrights are under my real name. Okay, it's not interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Is J.R. Ward self-published?
I think she's traditionally published because I used to read her. I used to get her books out from the library. And does the library have self-published books?
A lot of times, yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Well, is it your public library or like your school library?
Public library. Oh, these are erotica. There's no way in hell they'd be in the school library.
Girl,
Oh.
you don't know. My middle school had erotica books because of my middle school. Yes. Okay. So I should preface this. Hold up. This was the beauty of going to a charter school. So when I was really young, I went through before I went to high school, I went to a K through 12 charter school in Dallas. And I went there like within 4 years of it opening. So it was still kind of trying to get its shit together. And the library was a lot of just donated books from like families of children who went to the school. And one year my sister was like, I'm going to read through every single book in the library because that was actually possible because the library, well, not actually possible, but in her brain it was. But the library was small enough that she could convince herself that she could do it. And one of the first books she read was a book called The Smoke Thief, which she was allowed to check out, which again, I don't think you should censor books, but it is just funny because she was definitely middle school when this happened. And yeah, it was all about dragons and it was dragon erotica. And it was, but like human dragon erotica. No, let me freeze that. Dragons that can take human form. And, yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Crystal High School also had a collection of supernatural erotica books.
Really?
Quite odd.
Ooh, Tosh brings up an interesting point, or an interesting question. Have you talked about pen names? Does anyone consider it currently having a pen name? But thinking about it recently. What do you guys think?
I've been thinking about it, but I'm not sure yet. I feel like I'll get to that point when I get there.
That's fair.
I don't think I could be called like a different first name, but I would do what Alexa Dunn did and just like change the last name.
Yeah, I don't know how Kate does it. Because apparently Kate's not her real name. Like I figured Kavanaugh, like she said before that like Kate Kavanaugh's pen name, but I just assumed her last name was. And then she had that video where she was holding a cup with like, was it an H on it or an A? And she was like, first letter of my real name. And I'm like, wait, it's not your real name. I could never respond to a name other than Katie. Anyway. What about you, Wells?
I don't know that. I think I won't. I don't know why I won't, but I just don't think I will.
Well, you have a good name.
Mm-hmm.
It's very gender neutral. You can't look at that. And because I know right now, because when like back in the 90s, it was a very anti-women's world in the publishing industry. So women had to kind of masculinize their name, but now I think it's a little bit opposite, and especially in YA, I think I could be wrong.
It depends on the genre,
yeah. But I think my name, it's like blank canvas kind of name. You don't know. I could be either one. I could be I could be anything. So the problem with it is that it is so unique that I feel like I'd be really easy to dox. Shouldn't probably say that online. Please don't dox me, people in the comments. But yeah,
I don't think anyone here is going to dox you.
That's the only issue. So it's a kind of a decision between privacy versus just I feel like I hated my name for so long that I finally reclaimed it, and I was like, no, this is my full identity, to the point where I'm like, if I get married, I don't even know if I would like. I've always just assumed, not that I just wouldn't take my husband's last name, but that I would ask him to take my last name. But we'll see. But yeah, so I just am so closely identified with my name personally that, not that other people aren't, but for me, it was like this whole journey that we don't have to get into.
Mm-hmm.
That I think I would struggle doing creative work and then putting it under a different name.
Mm-hmm.
But things could change. I could be convinced.
Well, what about keeping the first name and doing a different last name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Since you're so easy to dox.
but that's the thing. It's like, even just my first name, you can find me really fast, basically. So what's even the point? You know, if I'm gonna do my first name, might as well also just do my last name.
Just gonna slow them down a little bit.
By like 5 minutes.
Maybe they'll lose interest. They can't find you in the first like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Alexis Spriggs is her pen name. That is cool. That's fun. I do like that name. Kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. It's a long story. I'm going to make a video telling the story of what happened in a couple weeks. Ooh, I'm excited. I found a publisher that was supposed to be local. Only spoke online. The edits were bad. And they stopped replying my emails. That's what got me off writing for 12 years. Oh my goodness.
No.
That is so... Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is so fascinating. I mean, it's shitty that happened to you, but like, it'd be a good learning point, I think, for especially a lot of young writers too.
Absolutely.
So, Ass Runner is my pen name, but my sister recently told me that people could read it as Ass Runner, and I'm not sure what to make of that. Oh my god, I've never thought that. I've never thought that, but that is something a sister would say. Had an interesting D&D sesh today. I punched this old guy who was Toad King and accidentally killed him. Oh my god.
We love harming the elderly on this stream. Don't take that out of context, please.
You know that's going in the memories.
No.
In the favorite memories. This is a great point, Alexis. At least they'll remember you. Mm-hmm. They will. TikTok. I almost said TikTok. You should get a Crystal. No, Crystal, you should get a TikTok. I'm sorry. Wires got crossed. You should get a TikTok. Yeah, it does. It does flow really well. It makes sense. Your TikTok following your team. Oh, these are things. You say my high school had a collection of supernatural erotica books.
Okay, so the book was called The Smoke Thief, and there were a lot of books in the series, but they all followed, I think that's pretty common in romance, you know, they all follow different members of a certain family. You know, the Bridgerton, let's say, of dragon erotica. So it's actually kind of a fun story. So just to give a little bit of an elevator pitch, the dragons in this world, they can take dragon form, human form, or they can just take a smoke form. And, you know, it's very, like, their society is very patriarchal. They, it's like not modern days. I think it takes place in the 1700s in England. And they all live together, but they, as humans, the other humans know about them, but they just don't know that these people are dragons, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
And but none of the women can turn into dragons. And like the setup of the romance is definitely the whole like alpha male who's going to become king of the dragons finds out that one of the women can turn into a dragon, can take smoke form. And so and then he but it's a girl who has run away from the tribe when she was really young. So he's on the hunt for her, basically. So I read that when I was 12. I read that before Twilight.
Dang. Man, wow.
Luckily, that wasn't the book that had a huge formative impact on me, because I feel like, it's not a healthy book for a little girl to read and think that that's what you should expect from a relationship. Because the main guy is very controlling. Like, as soon as he sees this girl, he's like, "You're mine." And she's like, "Excuse me." And then 3 pages later, she's like, "Okay."
Oh, that is so funny. I know. There's definitely early romance, 2000s romance has a lot of toxic tropes in them. A lot of toxic tropes. That especially young people can internalize in the wrong way.
Yeah, but at the same time though, I think there should be outlets to just explore the fantasies, right? Because I think
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm not saying those are bad. I think for younger people, teenagers and stuff, they should not be reading that, because they can internalize that as what true romance is, as opposed to this is a fantasy, and this is it's romanticized to a point where real life won't be like this, probably.
Right. And you don't want it to be like this, because it's going to be like this, but also more nuanced and shitty. And I think that's
because I don't agree. I'm not here for censorship, but also at the same time, I think we have to some extent protect children from internalizing bad things and and possibly harmful things that they can do either to other people or get in situations themselves, which is that's a deep topic for Wednesday. We're just trying to keep it light.
Do you think you should censor children? Give us your thoughts. I mean, because that's my thing with censorship. If I think it's going to hurt someone younger and they can't make the choice themselves to read it, then I think maybe but it's complicated and tricky. And because I feel kids can definitely handle way more than people give them credit for. Yeah. Because I
read,
was 12 years old and I'd been with that book, and my mom was like, "You're not allowed to read this," which she would never have done, because my parents were strict and stuff, but with books, they never censored any media that we consumed. And I was really thankful for that, because I felt a little bit in a little ways, I was being treated like a real human who had to make their own decisions. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, Twilight did have a formative impact on me. And I think that's a pretty innocent book to have done that. For the most part, I mean, it does set some ideals, etc., that you have to grow out of as you get older. But if it had been a different book that would have had such an intense impact, that's the fact that books can have that impact on girls that age and boys that age. I think it is something to consider. But I don't know. I think I lean more on the side of just letting them explore and being there as someone to talk to things about when they need clarification on things, versus telling them no, and then potentially they go and read it anyway, and then they don't have anyone to talk to. So
I definitely agree with that. And I also think the more wider that children are allowed to read, they'll come to these conclusions themselves, because they'll read because I feel if they just read one book and that becomes their what they think romance is, that's the problem. We should be, obviously, I'm an advocate for encouraging kids to read.
Encourage kids to read erotica. You heard it here first. Yeah, Tash, you make a great point. Destroy the elderly and make sure.
All right, let's return to the comments, because I'm about to get into some trouble, but it's fine. Miranda, definitely a last name change for me, but it's so hard to pick one. That's my problem too. I am definitely gonna have to change my last name, because despite the fact that I love my last name and I probably want to keep it, if I get married, but my last name is really hard to spell, and is easily misspelled. So I think it'll hurt my chances of marketing. And I'm not attached to it in the way of I've always loved my last name. It's my first name that I've kind of had a tricky relationship with, but so I think I would change it.
Could you make a pen name that somehow incorporates your last name as a first name? I mean, not exactly, but like inspired by or keep your last name but use a different first name?
Well, I did look into like what my last name actually means, like in like what it originally stood for back, because my last name's Irish. And apparently it's like swamp keeper. Or something like akin to that. That's just what my brain remembered.
I'm gonna just call you that. Are you kidding?
The swamp keeper.
No,
yep.
In the morning, I'm gonna message you on Instagram. Yo, swamp keeper, what's up? That's awesome.
I know, isn't it? Like
that's so fun. Like, I would, if that was what my last name meant, Katie, I'm not even kidding you. I would like go into that aesthetic. I would do a green, earthy toned, everything I wore, everything I decorated. I would super want to. I think you should dress up as a swamp keeper for Halloween. You go as a swamp keeper and I'll go as a process demon. And then you're going as Shrek?
No, so she should go as Shrek for Halloween.
You should go as Shrek.
No, I refuse. Regina Duke, my real name showed up 1,500 times on Amazon before I published, so I had to use a pen name. Wow.
That's fair. I'm
gonna use my first name, but not my real last name. Same.
Is Violet your first name? Because I love that name ever since I read A Series of Unfortunate Events. I always wanted my name to be Violet.
I do love Violet. So I have 2 last names. I also didn't feel like giving up my last name for my husband. I think it's weird. I think it's very patriarchal, and it's something that's kind of remained patriarchal throughout like the years of women taking men's last names.
Yeah, I think in general it makes sense, creating a new family, if that's what marriage is to you, right? Creating, like, if you're doing it for economic reasons, whatever. But like if it really is about creating a new family and having kids and stuff, I get the idea of having the same last name. I don't get the idea of it always having to be the girl who gives it up. So that's going to be the argument I use for whoever is lucky enough to, have to be having that conversation with me. So
I think with mine, I was thinking about this because if my brother, I have a brother, and so obviously his wife took our last name.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about it and I was like, well, this is really like kind of weird about me. I really like the idea of like names continuing, like a family legacy living on.
Me too.
So, so if my brother doesn't have any sons,
mm-hmm.
I would keep my last name to continue on I almost said my last name, my family's last name. Not that I really care that anyone knows my last name is, but gotta have some mystery in my life. So I would definitely keep my last name if he doesn't have any sons.
Mm. See, I only have sisters, so I'm like, I gots to do it.
True. That's true. Yeah. Because my dad's an only child. So
mm-hmm.
for like literally the last 2, I almost said my last name again. I thought about a pet name or using my maiden name because I used it before, but I think I'm using my married name to further separate myself from the old stuff. That's smart, especially because of the skeezy publisher.
Yeah, and if the old stuff contributed to your pain that you associate with writing, I think sometimes having those non-physical boundaries can really help us. I mean, this might be a bad coping mechanism, so don't listen to me, but like kind of compartmentalizing and be like, that was that name, but now we're moving forward with this name and it's a whole new experience and kind of almost a whole new person, and we just ignore it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't just ignore it, but it's good to create boundaries so you don't constantly have to be reminded of that stuff. And that's from a girl who does avoidance as her coping mechanism.
Tosh, I just thought about if I use all the syllables of my first name, it would just be nah. That's kind of funny. Get mad with Cat the Lad.
You're not late. We have not sprinted yet.
We have not sprinted once. And I just looked at the thing. We've been talking for 40 minutes. It's fine. Well, they're chatty for a reason. If no one's told you this told you yet, I want to say that I'm proud of you, even if all you did was wake up this morning. You're doing great and you're loved. Oh, you're so sweet. Just a reminder to check your posture. Just realized. Shoulders up and back, down. Drink some water. Save your work, and overall, take care of my
Nah, it's not worth it.
Rachel's like, I'm not here for this positivity.
No, I just tried to sit up straight, and I was like, I don't like this. Let me just stop.
An angle is better if I'm.
I have been drinking water though from a wine glass because I'm a bougie bitch.
Hold on, I have way too much headspace. Whoop! Then you can see the books on my floor. So JK.
Children and censorship. I watched Seven when it came out. My parents had the idea that if I understood the difference between fantasy and reality, that it didn't matter what I watched. That's a good strategy.
Mm-hmm. I watched Shakespeare in Love when I was 6 years old, and I was so traumatized. Not traumatized, but I was scandalized by seeing Gwyneth Paltrow nude. And I was like, I remember having the thought at 6 years old watching that movie being like, I think I'm too young for this.
I also watched, obviously I didn't watch Seven when it came out, but I did watch it really young. And so same. I also feel Seven is a great movie if you haven't watched it. Cat the Lad, I think having an open communication with children, but allowing them to read widely is important. But at the same time, I don't think children should be able to read everything. But once again, that goes back to the whole censorship thing. So I don't know. I'm the same way. I feel the same way. Because it's like, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, do you censor or do you not censor?
I think the important thing is you make those decisions with your children, but you don't judge other people for what they do with their children, and that's the happy place, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think open communication is key, because if your kids come to you with reasonable reasons for why they should be able to read something you don't think they should, it's important to listen to them and listen to their opinions and consider them.
Yeah.
I'll say.
My children can talk to me whenever they have questions. I'm sure I can't keep my way from all of that content. Yeah. Yeah, it's just about having a trusting, healthy relationship with your kids, and I think that's the crux of a lot of the censorship problems. Is like censorship isn't gonna make your relationship with your kids better.
I love how we're talking about this when between the three of us we have an average of 0 children.
Yeah, but I would like to say that I did grow up in a very conservative town that did try to censor a lot of the books in school. And I'm very lucky that my parents were like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
that's nice.
So that's like,
did your town also try and stop you from dancing?
No, I'm not Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
In my defense, Wallace, I am the oldest sister, so I basically have children.
That's true. That's a good point.
So true.
On average, we have one child.
1 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Call yourself gatekeeper. That's actually kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Cute.
That is. I like that.
I don't know if I'd keep it for my like fantasy writing, but if I ever like dabbled in like another genre.
Keeper is such a good fantasy last name. Are you kidding? Keeper. It's got like mystery. Like, what are you the keeper of? I think that's a good. I think it's a good fantasy last name.
All right. What I was thinking, because I was thinking about using my initials, because I'm also because V.E. Schwab, my favorite writer. There's a quote from her up there. Obviously uses V.E. because she writes in adult fantasy and it's very misogynistic, and a lot of people won't pick up fantasy, especially like specifically adult fantasy by women. But obviously VE is a very gender neutral thing. It could stand for anything.
What's your middle first initial? Do you have a middle name?
Yeah. And
goodbye.
Hey Steve, welcome back.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing. Okay, so you could be a keeper. I wish, not that this is relevant, but I wish your little middle name was M, because I think KM keeper just sounds really good.
I could do that though, because my last name starts with M, my real last name.
Heck yeah. That's probably why I was thinking that's what you should do, because it is what you're going to do. And future Wallace, can see your name on the Wrath King's dust cover. So
If it's called the Rat King.
you know what I mean. I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at my line.
I know. It's just funny. Hello, Hannah. I'm in a lecture, so I won't be able to stay long. Sorry, we've been chatting for so long that I didn't say hi to you and you forget. Kat the lad's last name means Raven. Oh, I love that. I love ravens. Yeah, Violet's my real name, named after my grandmother, so I would never change it. Oh,
That's lovely.
I'm also named after a grandmother, so I understand that.
I'm named after my great uncle.
There we go, the Wallace. Hello, Michael. How are you this morning? I love the Spanish custom of 4 last names. Your father's name, father's mother, mother's father, mother's mother. Short for almost 2 paternal names. Oh, I'd be White Winter Gilbert Evans.
Okay, that White Winter though hits different. That's a good.
It really does.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is so fun. Crystal shares the same coping mechanism.
Yeah. That's a good one. Solid strategy.
No, it's not worth it. That's
What is
you
this?
sitting up straight.
Oh,
Hello, Laurel. Once again,
you
love
have
your
a
dog.
Rolling.
I know I say this every stream. Like, I love this dog. Yeah. As always, I think it's the little siblings. A shield for almost everything that was a Nick or Disney Channel, or anything my parents indirectly approve of. If you're making your kids feel bad for winning a sport, then it's bad. I agree. Girl, I'll be on it in the next sprint if we ever do sprint.
Every
Seriously.
time I think of a new pin name, I immediately make the Gmail.
That's not a bad
What else is
strategy.
in that email address?
I
That's not a bad
love
strategy. So there's a singer who I think goes by Wallissimo, and I when I thought of having this be my channel name, I Googled the name just to see, and there is, but she's got kind of a small following. I don't know, but I was real quick about setting up the YouTube account and stuff because I was like, I'm gonna just swoop on under the radar, hopefully, and she doesn't get mad at me.
What gender, if it was gender, do you think the name Alicus?
I think it depends. How do you say it? Is it a hard C or a soft C? What is the stress on what syllable? So I think it could totally go. I don't know. How would you guys pronounce that word? I'm thinking hard C. Alicus or Alicus, Alicus. I think it's a guy name. What do you think?
If it's pronounced like that, when I first saw it just over on the comment side, I was like, Alicia's.
But I think to get the sh, you need the I after the C.
Yeah, now that when I was looking at it now. Alika's? Because this is a long L or a short L.
Yeah.
Long L. Yeah.
I think it's Ali, and then how the ending could vary. Alicus.
I think it has to be.
Kat's probably watching us and been like, no, it's not.
So I don't know. It could be both. Honestly, I would read it as both.
Yeah,
but
honestly, if you told us, if we're reading in a book and you introduce with pronouns and stuff, I would buy it either way, to be honest.
Yeah. Hello, Maya. I've been listening, so I thought I should say hi. Hello. Hi. What is this saying?
Same. I don't know what you're saying to, but same, Miranda.
Maybe my Gmail thing.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's kind of what I thought the first time looking at it.
Hey, Regina. She came up with K.
Yeah.
So fast.
K Keeper.
Yeah.
I almost call myself Crypt Keeper. It's fine. We're fine. Anyway, but yeah, honestly, Regina, she's here. I'm probably watching us no. Are you right? Alicas. Alleycast then, because igloo is like E. So Alleycast. Yeah, I would say male unisex name. I'd buy both. I'd buy that name. Anyway, should we do a sprint?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. How long do we want to go?
Maya, you have a good name too. I like your name.
Maya Lamare? It sounds French, and I'm bad with French.
Also, hi Vale.
Oh my god, I did miss her. Oh my gosh, sorry. You are not late. We haven't even done a sprint yet.
You are right on time, actually.
Yep, we're about to do a sprint. Okay, male unisex is the name I'm going for. Awesome. There we are. I do really like the name Alleycast. It's a fun. It feels like fantasy. It feels like a magician or like wizard name, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, how long should we sprint for, y'all? Should we do a long one since we've been talking for so long?
I was gonna say it's got to be a good chunky one. There are no warm-ups here. We warm up our vocal cords and then we shut up for half an hour.
Okay, we're not gonna do a half an hour, but how about a 25? How about a Pomodoro?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh.
Chrome tab. The tomato timer is back, y'all.
Ooh.
She's returned. Gotta add her to the stream. Oh my god, please. Thank you. Oh, okay.
What the hell did you use the last time?
I don't know, but I feel like I haven't streamed in a while. I haven't sprinted in a while, like on like my channel. So Tom has returned.
Tom.
Tim. Anyway, yes, we're gonna go for 25 minutes, and yeah, have fun. Get all those words, y'all. God, you know what we should have done for this entire time while we were waiting? Set up a forest room. Anyway, we can't delay any longer. that is our first sprint done. Looks like I'm the only one here. Oh, there's Denisha. And there's a Wallace.
Is that for the theoretical next sprint?
Yes, I thought I'd just put it up on screen ahead of time so that people could join it and then we wouldn't have to worry about it. How'd you guys do?
I wrote 21 words and then was commandeered.
For math homework?
Yes.
Endless. How about you, Katie? How'd you do?
My computer decided that it wanted to update my Creative Cloud. So I was in the middle of writing and I was listening to music, and then all of a sudden my music cut out and all of a sudden everything got really slow and I had to wait for it to finish. So I got, but I did get 148 words.
Nice.
So starting a new chapter, and I hate doing that. So, you know, we're getting there. Getting there.
I always love starting new chapters.
I hate them.
Why?
It's hard. I feel like finding the right words to open a chapter is hard. I have to go back and like I get into a chapter and then I realize I could start the chapter much like later in the scene, and then I could just, but getting there is the problem, and then I go back and it's a lot of wasted words, but
That's fair.
yeah. What'd you do, Wallace?
I tried to find that girl in my things on TikTok in my followers, but I just have so many followers. And I was like, I'm just going to go on the following page and see if she shows up, because she shows up every day. So I spent all that time on TikTok, and it was a good time.
That was an excuse to be on TikTok.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. It just be that way sometimes.
Waking up. I'm still waking up. I've had a couple of long nights, so I'm not quite yet in a creative mindset. But if we do another sprint,
which I'm hoping we will do another sprint, because I feel like I feel like I need to write some more, because I'm really far behind. You want to know how many words I am behind on my goal?
how many?
4,213.
That's not that far behind That's not that far behind.
I was hoping to finish before the end of February.
Did you hit your 3K goal the other day?
Oh, no.
How many words are you behind, Katie?
A little over 4,000.
Give me exact.
4,213. And that's to finish in March. I wanted to finish by the end of February, but
if you still want to finish by the end of February, you only have to write 168 extra words onto your normal daily goal in order to make up how far behind you are now. So if you have your normal goal and then add 170 words to your normal daily goal, you will make up your behindness by the end of February. Because all I did was divide 4,213 by 25. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know I can catch up, but I would like to. Oh my God! Stop calling me. Sorry. Anyway,
you don't need to catch up by like getting fully caught up and like feeling like you have to write 4,000 some odd words. Like if your normal daily goal is manageable, just add 170 words to that and just keep going and not be like, oh, I'm 4,000 words behind, just readjust your goal and then you can right on track. Yeah,
I know. I'm just annoyed at myself for being far behind, because I just want this rewrite to be done.
Fair enough.
I just want to have the book done so I can give it to beta readers, and yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it'll be fine. I'm just sad that my motivation and productivity has. Meow. You look so cozy, Devasia.
Thank you. It's 68 degrees in here.
Oof.
No, wrong side.
Hello, Caitlin. Good morning. Of course, it ends right as I'm about to get. Always happens that way. Tash got to 281 that time. Had to stop for snacks. A valid reason to stop. Oh, got the wire lined up so it refracts the woman's shoelaces through it properly. So trying to get the shadow.
What are you rendering? Is it like just an art image, or is it a video, 3D design? I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm curious. It's like fascinating to me. I love like when people talk about their normal people jobs. Going through some old published emails to get the story straight. It's a lot. It's a lot of process, and there were a lot of red flags, plenty. You live and you learn.
You always can see the flags after it happens. You know, don't beat yourself up too much about not seeing them in the moment, because they obviously weren't that obvious to you in the moment. You know.
Yeah. And it's gonna be a good learning experience, I think, for anyone who watches the video. And I'm excited to watch the video. Not that I'm happy that happened to you, but yeah, when life gives you lemons. Ooh. Laura Lights special effects from movies are adding water to.
Ooh.
Now,
that is so
I'm
fun.
gonna pay attention to movies, and whenever a woman's shoelace is reflected in water, I'm gonna be like, Laura worked on this movie.
Now, Laura, I want to know what movies you worked on.
Yeah, tell us some ones you've worked on. That sounds so fun. Oh. Okay, sorry, I got distracted because I knew this question was coming up, and we're probably going to talk about it for a while because we love to chat.
Mm-hmm.
Question: how much of an age gap would there have to be for you to consider an age gap romance?
I don't particularly enjoy this kind of romance, so I don't really think I have thoughts on it. Well, actually, let me give it to you like this. Like, I'm so extreme on this end that I can tell you at what point I would consider it to be a significant age gap, and other people might laugh at how small that age gap is. I would say 10 years is when I'm starting to be like, oh, that's an age gap.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh, cool. Then I'm normal. That's good.
I was thinking 10 to 15 is usually like, and anything above that obviously is a big age gap.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like, I think specifically like if you're trying to like go for like really big, like, or not really big, but like an age gap, like in a not traditional, but you know, in the trope sense, traditional trope sense, what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think anytime the two characters are from two different generations.
Yeah, I think that's why 10 years is my mark, because that's typically how people delineate generations, is by 10-year chunks. But yeah, I think that's a big one, because then the age gap is really relevant, you know, because they just grew up during different times. They would have been exposed to different things as kids, and so just would have different views on the world. Not necessarily always, but just theoretically. So I think, yeah, I agree with you, Katie. I think the generational aspect is more important than the actual number of years. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, and I think now as we progress as a society, and as technology continues to speed up as in its development, I think the spans between generations is getting shorter, because I already feel really disconnected from like late 2000s Gen Zers. I don't know what they're doing over there. They scare me. They scare me so much. But I'm also not a millennial. Like, it's not, yeah, it depends. Yeah, it really depends on generation.
But I think that's not totally the same, because I think y'all are in different stages of life right now. You know, 2000s Gen Zers are in high school now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think in 10 years, when you're in your early 30s and they have just graduated from college, I think there will then be more of an interconnection. Like, because I think right now, you know, when I was just graduating college, I couldn't relate to high schoolers at all. But now those high schoolers are either in college or have graduated college like you. I mean, you and me, look at how much we relate to each other. So I think, but like 5 years ago, I'd have been like, I'm not going to hang out with a high school kid. Are you kidding me? So,
especially not me at like, what? I can't do math. 17? Me at 17 was not a fun time.
So I think it's not that, I mean, it could be that the modern world and globalization or whatever makes generations shorter, but I think sub-generations early in life are more distinct than they are later in life. Just because kind of you're almost like in your own little mini generation when you're clumped together for middle school, clumped together for high school, and clumped together for college. Those are almost like 3 separate generational moments. And then once everybody's graduated, then you're in like a 12-year generational group, if that makes sense.
I just think my generation.
What was that?
Sorry, I thought I was lagging. I lagged really hard during that. I was like, oh no.
No. I just have an alarm. That went off.
That's okay. No, I just think my generation, like the in between, is kind of specifically weird because, I mean, I grew up at a time without the internet. Like I grew up with like the same things that like millennials had, and like millennials talk about like being 90s babies. Like I also didn't have the internet for the majority of my childhood. Like I didn't get my first cell phone until I was like 15. Which is still really like still pretty young, but like considering like now,
I got my first cell phone when I was 8.
Same. But except I was a latchkey kid.
Yeah, so that's so funny because I mean I definitely have memories of a childhood before the internet, but I felt like the internet showed up really early in my childhood. Like I remember being 7 years old. No. Probably like 7 or 8 years old, right when I got my cell phone, but also when my mom was at home, like getting on dial-up and listening to the noise and like getting on the internet and exploring random crap. And I remember watching a commercial on TV where there was a guy at a computer. Well, I remember 2 separate commercials and they're very vivid in my brain. There was a guy at the computer and he was like surfing the internet and he comes to this page and it was like, you have seen all of the internet. This is the end of the internet. I was like, oh my God, that's possible. I literally thought that was like a thing that would happen once you'd seen the whole internet. And then there was another one when wireless internet started becoming a thing and a man and a woman were living together. They're probably married because this was early 2000s TV commercials. But the man was like, honey, you can't be on the internet. I'm about to go on for work. And she's like, we have wireless. There can be 2 computers on at the same time. And he's like, at the same time? She's like, at the same time. And I remember watching that and being like, at the same time?
At the same time. It's wild how far we've come.
Yeah. But
it's wild.
I think that's so funny because I feel like even though I am 4 years older than you, I feel like I had more of a classic, very, very late millennial or early Gen Z childhood than you did, maybe.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
Because we didn't, maybe it's just because, like, I don't know. Like, I've always considered myself a millennial, and I think it's because my brother's a millennial, and I'm really close with him. But anyway, it's
because I've never felt like millennial ever. Like, anytime anybody's talking about millennials, because like when millennials were really the hot topic in the news, whenever they were getting blamed for not buying houses because of avocado or whatever, I was in high school and I was like, can I not be grouped in? Like, and especially the one that really bothered me was like the millennial work ethic and all these millennials expect to like be paid so much for not a lot of work and start off immediately with like 3 weeks of vacation time, etc. And I'm being like, I would like to not be grouped in with all these people entering the workforce because I've got like 8 years before that happens for me. So I just think that's kind of the curse of being on the later end of a generation. And you have the opposite curse where you're on the earlier end of a generation. And, it's almost as if these things aren't easily categorized and,
It's almost as if people aren't generations.
Yeah.
Anyway, to go back slightly to age gaps, Brandon said my age gap wrong was completely messed up. My parents were 19 years apart. I think that's what I was thinking too. Like age gaps are like really common, especially when you get older. Because like you said, with the life thing, like that's totally true. Like because the stage you are in life no longer matters.
To me, it's so funny because I used to be like, once it's graduated from college, it doesn't really matter. But no, I'm like hard for some reason, and I don't know why, and it's totally my own prejudice. But if you're in your 20s, I think for me, it's like, I think it stops being important after you turn 30. I just feel like your 20s, and maybe that's because now I'm in my 20s, and maybe once I get into my 30s, I'm like, no, your 30s are also formidable years or formative years. But because I'm in my 20s, I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I feel like age gaps are more.
It's more noticeable with like a 40-year-old and a 20-year-old than a 60-year-old and a 40-year-old.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying it can't work. I'm not here trying to judge 19-year age gaps but it's less noticeable, like maturity and like, I don't know, just ways that it works. And I mean, it depends on the person is the thing. Like
maybe we're just saying that because we're so far removed from 40 that we kind of, I mean, I don't think of 40 and 60 the same, but like they feel equally foreign to me, which is, when I was in middle school, why I thought, well, once you're in your 20s, like dating a 40-year-old shouldn't matter. But like, that's because 20 and 40 seems so foreign to me. But now that I'm in my 20s, I'm like, oh my God, no, a 40-year-old, what would we talk about? Like, I play D&D, and I guess a lot of 40-year-olds play D&D, but you know what I mean? So yeah, I think maybe when I'm 40, I'll be like, oh no, dating a 60-year-old. What would we talk about? So who knows?
Also, I saw this earlier. I'm gonna die. I'm fangirling right now.
That's amazing.
That is incredible.
Oh, I've just started watching The Boys too. That's interesting. Anytime I see great special effect, I'll be like, or visual effect, because special effect is when it's like not computer stuff, right?
Yeah. Shape of Water, one of my favorite films of all time. Funnily enough, me and Wallace just talked about it. She hates Shape of Water.
I dislike it. I don't hate it.
Same, Anna. Oh, I loved it too. Guillermo del Toro, I have chef's kiss. Yeah, it depends on how old the younger one is, which is kind of what we were saying. My boyfriend and I are 5.5 years apart, but maturity-wise, and where we are in our careers, it's the same.
Okay,
yeah.
I have to ask, is it because your boyfriend is 5.5 years immature, or are you 5.5 years mature? Although I guess I shouldn't assume that you are the younger one. Who is the immature one and who is the mature one in the relationship?
I've read the people born in 96 to 99 range aren't quite millennials, but aren't quite Gen Z. I'm literally right smack dab there. There I am. What the fuck are they? I know. What are they doing? What are these children doing? I know I'm not a millennial. Oh my God, it just jumped. Oh my. Everyone just talking about phones. Well, I got my first phone when I was 17 when I started driving. I had no sense of direction, so it was a necessity. Didn't get texting until I was in college. Oh, okay. Oh, family very behind. I feel. Gays everywhere.
Beautiful name.
This is flawless. Look at that picture. I love it. I love it. Filming my littlest pet shops. That's so cute. Oh no.
What is LPS?
Littlest Pet Shops. What is it?
Littlest Pet Shops.
Yeah, Littlest Pet Shop. Sorry. My brain read that as My Little Pony.
Ah.
But Warrior Cats? Same. Warrior Cats had a profound effect on this old brain. I'll never forget the first iPhone commercial where suddenly in the middle of the commercial you got a phone call on their iTouch. Yeah. It's all wild. Oh my gosh, why is it jumping? Me, the big thing is maturity no matter what your age is. Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
20 years is such a gap. That's almost 2 generations again. I just remarking on the interest of it, not being like, your parents should never have gotten together. Hot take,
Yeah.
Miranda.
Hot take on Miranda. Yeah, my parents are only a year and a couple months apart. Not even. They're only a couple months apart. I also have a friend that when they're 21, she was dating a 42-year-old. It always threw me off when I would hang out with them. Yeah. It just feels it feels weird. This is going to come off and sound really horrible, and it's just my own bias. But I'm just going to say it this way. I guess, because I'm not 40, I don't understand how a 40-year-old could find a 20-year-old interesting, because 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, specifically, considering I'm like that age, why would you want to be interested in me?
Hey, you're a writer and you have such fascinating thoughts. I could definitely see someone being interested in you.
A 40-year-old?
Sure. Someone, yeah.
I have a
I don't
friend.
know.
She came out of like a long-term relationship with someone her age. She was like 22, and then entered a long-term relationship with someone who was like in his 50s. And I was like, oh, okay. And they got a house together, and I was like, oh, that's moving mighty quickly. Just that face, like,
a little fast, but you know.
This is the judgment hour, everyone, where we just
But it's just like judgment from like me thinking about it personally, like with putting me in the situation of being the 20-year-old or being the 40-year-old. Like, it's not that I literally, as long as you're in a happy, healthy relationship, I don't give a fuck. It's none of my business. You know?
No comment.
you made all the comments you needed to.
Oh, see that? I'm gonna say that feels predatory.
Yeah.
Because 16 and 9, like 16 is, that's too young.
That's really young.
Anyway, I can't believe you get to work on Guillermo del Toro projects. I'm like, that's,
I will say, Laura, when I was complaining about the movie to Katie, didn't I say I thought the sets were great, the visual effects were great? So I wasn't.
Yours was a
story.
I didn't. Yeah. It's just I didn't think the story was Oscar worthy. Is how I would phrase it. I think it was way overhyped.
Yeah, yours was a critique of it being chosen as an Oscar film, because despite it being a good movie, you didn't think it was worthy of an Oscar, and because you saw it after it won.
Yeah,
that's another important part of it.
Yeah.
So I think. Oh my gosh, you animated his face,
which was a very expressive face. It was a good job.
I genuinely thought it was FX makeup when I watched it. I thought that was like actually the actor beneath acting through like makeup.
Even the eyes blinking?
I mean, maybe not the eyes. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. I'm just so taken with that movie. I've watched it so many times.
Maybe I'm making this up. Maybe this is an implanted memory, but did the eyes blinking, did they have like kind of a little noise every time they blinked, like a little like wet kind of clicking sound? I remember thinking that was a very satisfying sound.
Yeah, because he's very much like, he's very rooted in like actual amphibian anatomy. Like very like clearly he's obviously like, you know, not like purely an amphibian, but I think the way Del Toro designed him was to be semi-accurate to like how amphibians would be, like how amphibians are. Just based on what I know of Del Toro and his dedication to the craft of creating monsters. Could be wrong though, but 9-year age gap. I'm the mature one and the younger one.
I like it. To be both at once is the best.
I love it. Kids nowadays, 5-year-olds with iPhone. Me growing up, a phone that could only text. Yeah, a phone I shared with my mom because she had all the time and I never used. Warrior Cats is why I picked drama over story. Please, there was so much happening for preaching me to comprehend. It wasn't even a native speaker. Oh my god, I can't imagine trying to read Warrior Cats outside of your native language.
I had never heard of Warrior Cats before you, Katie.
Yeah,
I had no idea what this was. And now I've been talking to you, I hear about it all the time, and not just from you, but from like, is there like a revival happening or something? Is that what?
I hope not. I hope not. I seriously hope not, because I mean, I thank Warrior Cats is the reason I'm a writer. Genuinely. The first like full stories I was writing was Warrior Cat fan fiction. I was on that role-playing site. All of my preteen, adolescence, and young adulthood.
What was the general plot?
Okay. This is not going to turn into a Warrior Cat stream, I promise.
Okay.
But basically there's like these 4 like clans of cats that have like their own like hierarchical society. Yeah, I know. It sounds wild when you say it out loud. And essentially they just fought each other all the time, and there was like weird ancestral magic shit. And it got like weird in the middle. And they like moved.
In the middle? Sounds weird already.
Babe, it was weird to begin with.
It got weirder. It got weirder. It's the problem. They literally like one of the like not spin-off series, but like secondary like trilogies or whatever. Huh?
Is it a TV show or a book?
It's a book.
Okay.
It's a series of books. So like when one of like the tertiary trilogies, because there's so many trilogies and like other spin-off series, they literally had the evil cats that went to hell after they died rising up and recruiting living cats into their like literally Nazi shit. And went to like go kill the cats that were in heaven.
Oh my god.
It is so wild, the fact that it's crazy.
Oh my god.
Girl, same. I love yeah, cats in a forest fight over land. Essentially what it is. Anyway, away from warrior cats, because I can't. Cat Blood, I am 22. I just turned 22. So yes, we are the same age. Oh yeah, 22 is a messy year.
Wait, they're like actual cats.
Yeah, they're like wild cats. Like feral cats. Feral cats.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're-
But we all have our thing, you know?
I was also a child when I read these, and like for a child, they were very creative. I'll give them that. Why are we the same person? I also thought the creature in Shape of Water was very attractive, but I didn't think the beast was hot. But anyway,
I was kind of into the beast as a kid, but no, Creature from the Shape of Water. Well, you know what? I just don't like fish, so maybe that's what the issue is.
He's just not your type of monster.
Yeah, that's why I like that movie. I was like,
Just say you don't like fish.
I don't like fish. I don't like fish or birds. That's why I will eat them. To prove my dominance over those creatures.
I have always said this too, Cat Blood. You can go to war at 18, but not drink and smoke until you're 21. Yep. It's weird that you consent to sex with anyone at 17, go to war at 18, but you can't drink or smoke until 21. Yeah.
Yep.
America doesn't make any sense. Thank you, Prohibition. It was the fabulous Doug Jones in the zoo. I love Doug Jones so much. He has in the suit were different formed to each other. One looked correct, but he couldn't see through. Oh my god. He is an incredible actor. He's an incredible character actor. I've watched a lot of Face Off, that FX reality show. So fun.
Laura, I see you also worked on the Hellboy movie, the new recent one. But you know what I thought when The Shape of Water came out? I thought that character was about the fishy guy from the original Hellboy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
That's fair.
I was wrong.
It should have been, though. It could have been. I mean, they're both Del Toro films. Hellboy and Shape of Water. The original Hellboy, not the 2019 version. Warrior Cat sounds like cats.
Wait, Katie, the other day you said that you love all Del Toro films more than you love The Princess Bride. Does that include Hellboy?
Okay, fine. No, it does not include Hellboy.
Okay.
I love Hellboy. I really
I
like
love
that.
Hellboy too. I love Hellboy too. Don't not get me wrong. I love Hellboy, but I don't love it more than Princess Bride.
Okay, good.
Princess Bride still doesn't top the crack the top 5 though.
Doesn't top the crack.
It doesn't crack the top 5. Ugh. It's literally like 8 to like 12 is like the age group for that. Kids preteen. Yeah. You want to know another crazy thing about Warrior Cats that happened in this series?
Let's hear it.
So there was this like evil cat who, you know, aptly named as like Scourge or something. I know. It's so weird. Anyway, they were trying to like take over the forest or whatever. The context isn't important. But when you become like a clan leader, you get 9 lives, you know, playing off the whole cats have 9 lives thing. And so Scourge was really evil, and he killed this other really evil cat who had gotten the 9 lives, literally eviscerated him like from neck all the way down to like all the way down through his guts. And they described this cat losing all 9 lives right in a row. Died 9 times over. And that happened in a children's book.
From being eviscerated, or why?
Huh?
From being eviscerated, or
Yeah.
what?
So like when they die, they like come back. But like because it was so deep and it was so bad, literally he would die once, come back to life, die again 9 times in a row.
This is some crazy shit.
That is next level.
And this is in the first, like, this is in the last book of the series. This is like the 6th book in the original series, like the original part with the original character. Like, I think about my love of horror and like body horror, and I'm like, Warrior Cats. Warrior Cats.
Oh my god.
They even called the road the Thunder Path. It was. They're a fever dream. They're absolutely a fever dream. I kind of recommend them to go and like just make fun of and to see how crazy they are. Yep, same design and actor as Ape Sapien in Hellboy. So it could have been Devasia.
That's my headcanon.
Oh no. Vale, you have to. It's so good.
It is, but
Anyway.
it's in my opinion, I think it is literally the best film of all time, not just my favorite film, but I think it is quintessentially the perfect movie. But I say that through the lens of someone who saw it as a child, and I will allow for the fact that I think, I would say it's the perfect movie to see as a child. Not that it's a children's movie, because I don't think it is. Mm-hmm. But I can see that now that, especially as media has evolved and technology has evolved and stuff, there might be aspects of it that just don't translate in modern day. But I still think it's the best movie.
The giant swamp rats definitely don't hold up over.
I think they hold up perfectly.
I think they add another level of hysterical to the movie, because the movie is just like it's just downright fun and funny.
It's a good time.
So to drink and read Warrior Cats, potentially allowed my part, yes. Do it. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna start making Warrior Cats content, y'all.
Catherine, no.
I'm going to reread the series.
Hey.
And I'm going to review it as an adult.
Catherine.
Hey, you already have like quite a large TBR, ma'am. Maybe set that one to the side.
It'd be hysterical. But this is like actually something that's really relevant to me as a writer, though, because they literally were formatively, they developed me formatively.
That's a good point.
So good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that happened. That absolutely happened. So much shit happened. I can't.
I am constantly evolving and changing. I mean, yeah.
Anyone want to come do my dishes for me? I'll pay you. I can't take them anymore. Drowning.
Oh, whoa. Warrior Cats incest?
What?
I mean, They're all interrelated. It got really
Katie!
there's not actual incest, I don't think.
Gays
But-
everywhere says differently.
Okay.
Oh,
Here's what happened. There's 3 people who write the warrior books. Okay, I know way too much about this. All under the name Aaron Hunter. And what happened is that when the series kind of like blew up, and like not blew up like a ton, but like got really popular, and they started writing more and more books. It got like the clans got really big, and they kind of forgot who was related to who through the family lines until much later. When they redid the family tree after they'd written like the majority of the series, and then they went back and redid the family tree, and turns out yeah. So that's why.
So it was so accidental incest.
It was accidental incest. Genuinely accidental incest. And I'm not defending it, but I don't think any of the main characters had any incest things. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you, Vale, for indulging me. Yeah, they're cats. See, Miranda gets me. Warrior cats, Warrior Week.
oh my God, Katie.
Yeah. Oh, I hated Firestar though. Anyway. You're watching kids stuff you love as an adult. Yes, do it. Do it. It's so fun. Oh my God. I loved Winx Club too. Clearly not as much as I love Warrior Cats, but I did love Winx Club. So good. Did either of you watch Winx Club?
No.
No.
Oh, you're killing me. I refuse. I refuse to take it back. I said it and I'll say it again. I hate Firestar. What is the stream? We need to do another sprint.
I agree.
Anyway, there's the forest code. Has everyone joined that wants to join? I'm not sure.
Yes, I'm here.
I did see you there.
I'm all that matters.
This is true. You are all that matters. Great.
Are you in it all? So do you not want to be?
Because I'm just being honest with myself. I'm going to go on TikTok again.
I'm gonna go make breakfast because I haven't eaten anything yet.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Oh, goodbye.
Oh! No! Stop. No! Oh God! No! I don't want to be. Okay. All right, we're gonna start our next sprint. Sprint 2. After 2 hours. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hold on. Oh fuck.
Put yourself at the top. I'm gonna
Get
start
your
my
cap
count.
together, Katie.
tree has grown. Our timer is done. We did it. Oh, hello.
Hi.
How'd you do?
So great.
Did you watch TikTok?
Yes, I did. I don't know what it is. I haven't been able to sleep at night. I think I have that same thing that Steve's got or whatever, and so I just have brain fog once the sun rises. So it's going to be a stretch of really unproductive days. I can already tell. And I need to save. Well, I need to save my productivity for school. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
how did you do, Catherine?
I mean, I wrote, and I had to. I'm really bad at describing characters. And I've been trying to describe characters better. So it's just like I realized I wanted to mention something so it alludes to another country so that I can call back on that whenever I introduce another character. So that hopefully because certain types of people look certain ways,
Yeah.
So I had to go back and do that in an earlier chapter. And it's just been a struggle to try to I think the other thing is I hate writing traveling or questing. And this entire chapter is just them riding through the wilderness.
And what do they, I mean, but what is the point of the chapter? There's going to be something other than just them riding through the wilderness. Otherwise, the chapter doesn't need to be there. So what's the emotional point of the chapter?
Well, it's to get to know the characters better and have the connection to the characters, specifically the new character that's introduced besides the POV character. And also, they're going to meet someone else in this chapter.
Okay.
Which I won't be real vague about, but you know what it is.
Yeah. I was trying to be subtle, but you're like, ha 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 over here, so I don't know.
I don't know. Just they're gonna meet somebody, and they're rather important to the story, so just be that way. I do look very pensive. I am good. I'm just thinking about how. Okay, so I'll talk about my conundrum, and maybe people in the comments, and you can help me. The character I'm describing, I have a face claim for. Who, let me just make sure I have it correct so I don't accidentally fuck up really badly. Because I think I'm correct. But I don't want to be wrong. Yes, so I have the face claim who's Korean. And I'm trying to, but because I'm in a fantasy world, I can't just say, he's Korean. I can't say that. So I'm trying to, and I've Googled this so many times and trying to figure out how to, describe him so it's not racist, but also at the same time, I don't want, I want it to be apparent that he's, Korean. You know what I mean? So that's just why I'm struggling with his description, because, he has pale skin and dark eyes and dark hair, and people can very easily picture him as white. And I don't, he's not white. And it's not that he's not white for any specific reason. It's just the character in my head has always been of Asian descent. And I found this guy who's literally exactly what I pictured in my head. So.
I mean, especially because I get your big issue is that your world obviously is not Earth, and so there is no cultural comparison and that other characters could make about this person that would help the reader picture them. But I mean, ultimately, if you just describe him as you see him, I mean, right, it's sort of like trying to describe the color orange to someone who's never seen it, right? You're trying to describe a like a culture that doesn't actually exist in your world. So, I mean, I guess my strategy would just be to, write the way you're going to write him. And if your readers envision him differently, then that's okay. And maybe over time, it just, assuming your book gets really, really popular and stuff, that you can have a little website where you can have your fan cast up, and not fan cast, author cast or whatever. And then that can help illuminate to people. But I just, I think it's okay. I mean, as someone who typically just skims descriptions and I'm like, no, this is what the person looks like to me.
Oh, we know. Oh, yeah. We know.
I think that, I just think you just gotta accept the fact that a lot of your readers are gonna envision the character however they're going to envision them, and that's kind of something outside of your control almost. I freaking, the first time I read Twilight, I thought Bella was blonde.
Oh.
Even though there's a whole section right at the start where she's like, my brown hair. Like, I mean, not just at the start, it's like the whole story. And then I started seeing like fan art and I was like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
And not that I'm always talking about Twilight, but I have never thought of Edward as a redhead. I always thought of him as having really dark black hair, not black hair, but like really dark brown hair.
Yeah.
Never.
Chocolate brown.
And I straight up always saw, I acknowledged that she kept saying bronze. I acknowledged that, but in my brain, I was like, bronze means dark brown. I just made that choice. So
what I think's weird is bronze isn't even like what I think she meant auburn.
Yeah.
But because bronze isn't auburn.
If she really meant bronze, he would have been ginger, not just a redhead. He would have been straight up bright ginger.
Yeah.
And I was like, I reject that.
Yeah.
No, I love red hair, but yes, Caitlin, Edward is a redhead. He has auburn hair, coppery hair. But yeah, I would say write it in your style. Don't overwrite it in effort to get people to get it as perfectly in their head as it is in yours, just because I think it's just not possible to do that.
I just worry because I've been seeing a lot recently about Sarah J. Maas, and I feel like I talk about her literally every stream. But essentially, it's that a lot of people have headcanoned that certain characters are people of color.
Okay.
However, in the text itself, it doesn't actually give any indication that they're people of color. And I feel like when you have even though I'm writing a fantasy, I still feel like I want to make it clear to the people reading it that yes, this is a very diverse world with very diverse characters of color. And literally there's literally I have people of every shade in this book. Well, I mean, and I just want to avoid and I know I'm way overthinking it. I'm absolutely way overthinking it. But I'm also just really aware that I want to make sure that it's very clear that I have pictured these characters as people of color. So it's not when people are like, oh, I headcanon them as this. It's no, they're actually this.
Well, but that's the great thing about being an author, right? Is you can make it canon. You can say, yes, that is what they are. Sarah J. Maas isn't going out here being like, no, Rhysand isn't XYZ, whatever you're imagining him. He's ABC. I think.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. My brain just kind of lost its train of thought there, but I think. Wow, my brain totally lost its train of thought. I just completely blanked out. But I see what you're saying. But at the same time, because your world just straight up doesn't have a Korea, right? So,
no. And the thing is, and that's the thing, this character is from this country. And I also don't want to make it every other country in the surrounding area only has people who look like this.
Right.
Because I think that's also a thing that happens in fantasy is all of the people who look like they're from East Asia are all in the same country. it's not like he's from the country.
Yeah.
He's from Azaro, the name of the kingdom that they're in. He's
Right.
from Azaro. Like he's not like he has like an accent, but that's just like a West Azaro accent. Like
Oh.
I'm trying to make it, but I also I don't know. It's just like
The world is globalized. There's been a lot
yeah.
of movement around. Yeah. So again, here's my thing. And again, I am not really the person who is educated
Oh, I know.
to really be speaking on this, but my worry for you is that if you try too hard to get exactly the way you envision him, you'll end up relying on language that isn't actually positive. And I don't know, I could be totally wrong there. Maybe more description is better, but I don't know. I think it always also just like annoys me when we take a whole break from the story to just sit and listen about what this person looks like. You know, I think I'm always much more intrigued about the more ethereal essence of a person versus the like hard facts about their appearance. So, you know, just I just think that there are better ways to describe a person than to like actually physically describe them, I guess. Because again, I so forget all of that information. But if you tell me like the way that they smile instantly can, you know, create a sense of unease with the people who are around them, and like the air, this is super cliche, but like the air crackles with energy whenever they grow silent because their anger is a silent one. Like that one, I can so envision that in my head, even if description wise I'm picturing someone different.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm now closer to that character than if you just like, this person is blonde hair with purple eyes, and you know, so I think that there are better avenues, I guess. But I see your desire to illustrate a diverse world.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like I have to make sure I go through and I do that with all of the characters. Like it's just really and this is so bad, but like it's easier, like two of my characters and like one of my main POV character, Nola, like they're like she's brown, and then her love interest and his brother and like a bunch of other people are black. So like it's easier to describe them, like obviously not just saying like whatever, like describing them being like, yeah, they have dark skin.
Mm-hmm.
And then going on to describe them in more detail so that like they're not just like, you know, that one, you know, just the dark skinned guy, you know, like going in with those details that make them feel like real people too, because I do think that's also important of like describing characters not only by what they look like, but what they feel like. But like to me, it also is important to describe them with how they look like. And unfortunately, with this particular character, when I describe him, he sounds very much like just, you know, your run-of-the-mill white guy because he has dark hair, dark eyes, and he's pale. Like, and I don't want to rely on stereotypes. And I've read a ton of like Tumblr posts from like, I think it's characters of color. I'll try to find the link too. Like talking about how to describe characters of color. And I've relied on that a lot, but it's just like something I was like trying to think about and trying to actively put stuff in there so it comes across, but not so that it's just like, you know, that's the only thing about this character. So it's hard to find that balance. And I'm just like, that's why I was pensive.
I mean, that was the question, wasn't it? A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are people in the comments saying?
Yeah, let me see. There's a lot of, well, first of all, we'll just do this. We'll do this part first. Also, hi, Shadow's Lair has the same issue. Same. My editor also does sensitivity reading, and I'm very glad about that. I mean, that's pretty much gonna that's what I'm gonna do too, is like, I'm hoping like to get sensitivity readers about this, because I do have people of color in my story and I don't want to be like accidentally racist, you know, because again, a white person, and
we have our, you know, bias that we're just not even aware of. So it's really important to have outside eyes look on thoughts.
Yeah, especially when people read, people can default like that. I've done that too. I've definitely defaulted to certain things, and like, you know, it's just who we are like right now as a society and as people. Main character ends up in a city that has no sun. Everyone there has a vitamin D deficiency and are attempting to show she's POC by her reaction to meeting these pale people. I did see that. Who was it that said that? So there's someone else that said something. I think maybe it was.
Why does the city have no sun, but like the rest of the world has a sun? Are these on lots of different planets, or is there like a city that's always in the shadow of a mountain or a valley or something? Why does this city have no sun? And like, why would a city have formed here? Is there a really nice river with a lot of nutrients, even though there's no sun? Like, how do they grow food? I'm so curious. Let us know.
Also, Debasia said in the private chat, describe his appearance in contrast to a white character, which is a great suggestion. Actually, now that you said that in this, I also agree that maybe that I can do that, because I think, yeah, describing characters in contrast with each other is a good idea, because then you can kind of get the diversity between them. Facebook has 2 groups you can pose these questions to: socially aware fiction writers and writers for diversity. Oh, I'll look into that.
Aisha, where are you, babe?
I think she's probably eating her breakfast.
Okay.
People look like Native Americans in my mind, but I don't know if that's going to come across with just a reaction to the whitest people. I'm figuring out how to do it right. Yeah, I mean, this is a problem that like most fantasy writers come up with. I get the struggle, but at the same time, I think we as a society put too much emphasis on skin color sometimes, which stresses out creators. I get to want to see yourself in the story, but we focus so much on skin color that we either forget or making them an actual person second in terms of importance. Units represent others, make them a person. People are more than their skin color. Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing too, Katie, to consider when like adding diversity to your world, is that, you know, to show that your world is diverse, there should be diverse opinions and diverse cultures. You know, is it diversity if everyone, like, people can look different, but everyone has the same thoughts and opinions and similar religions and stuff like that? So yeah. I think if you can show that this character is just, you know, if they're supposed to be wildly different than the POV person that they're with, or, you know, how they clash. Yes, I know, but I'm trying to be big for that. I'm trying to be big for that.
I know.
And, like,
I know.
How they interact with each other, and that showing of different, you know, different circumstances of childhood and early teenage years, and all of that can add that layer of diversity that you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely something that I've been thinking about too, because I mean, character creation is always important, having strong characters and characters that feel real on the page. But it's like, yeah, like a book that doesn't have good representation usually means not good representation. What am I trying to say? Yeah, sometimes like that's the thing I'm trying to avoid, is having characters that are diverse just for the sake of saying I have diverse characters. Like, I don't want to be like, obviously I don't be like, oh, she just has tokenism in there. There's just one random character in there because doing whatever, like being, you know, the second fiddle to the white character. And I feel like tokenism also has like this aspect of like the other character doesn't have any personality to themselves. They're just in the shadow of the main character, who most often happens to be white. So that is an important part of like when you create characters that are, you know, inspired by, you know, people of color, that they have their own personalities that reflect them as people and humans. As opposed to just like, oh, I just have them in here because, you know, I want to be diverse and don't want to get called out. Like, like that's the thing. Like, I know I genuinely have these characters of color in there because that's what these characters look like in my head. Like, they just come to me and they look a certain way, and I can't really change that. And I don't know what like subconscious my mind's doing, but I don't want to be accidentally insensitive or racist. Which I don't think I will be, But again, I don't know if it's an accident. Who knows? Who knows? Contemporary fantasy, so I can just say creation. So much easier. So much easier. Definitely share the struggle. One of my settings for my world is pretty much its own dimension. So I ask the question when it comes to character creation, since they aren't part of our world. Interesting. End up wondering if I'm being diverse for diversity's sake or having diverse characters because there are diverse characters. But yeah, that's exactly like
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of my worry too. Like I think I am being diverse because they're diverse characters. But like I know in my heart that's what I'm genuinely doing, but I'm afraid of this, you know, being diverse by diversity's sake. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. Us creating an entire fantasy world, which would not have Earth people and Earth concepts. Yeah. I mean, this is also the same thing of like saying a French braid. You can't say French braid in fantasy. There's no France. there's no French. Or no French. Or Dutch braid. You can't say it. Like there's a lot of words that we just can't use in fantasy because they don't exist. Because they exist. Like the words we use for them don't exist in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same thing on a much smaller scale. I found that though the other day. I realized I wrote French braid and I was like, no, there's no French. Oh, she's returned. How was your breakfast? If you had breakfast.
It was good.
That's good.
Sorry, I was gone for so long.
Yeah, that's okay. I've missed a ton of comments, so I'm just going to go really quickly through what people did during that sprint. Sorry, we got off track a little bit there. Gay Everywhere got 859 words in the fic outline. I love it here. It's so self-indulgent. Shadows, the shoelaces are lined up, but the stupid shadow won't line up. I think she actually fixed that later in the chat. So far, only 100 words. I did a lot of name searching. Research name names. Very fun. And those are the names. Cool. Tosh got 229. Surprised I got any words at all. I had to rewrite almost every sentence because I was thinking was not what I was writing. I feel that on a deep emotional level. It's also like, what, like 4 a.m. where you are? Emails, and more emails. At least I got something done. True. Read through a few chapters and debated where to insert my next chapter. Any tips for that? Ooh, Miranda finished Murder Board for Act 1. Ooh, context is everything. Yeah.
You know us, Tash. We're the world experts on how to be diverse perfectly in every story. Come here we all have PhDs in the subject.
Yeah, I'll try to find the Tumblr post that I have been referencing a lot and put it in the chat. Murder Board.
Tumblr is an official source.
Official source. That's also a good idea. Yeah, I can do that too. It's a good idea. I do read a lot of fantasy, so. Aww, that's so sweet. I'm so glad you're here with us. Edward is a redhead, technically. Yeah, and so there we go. We're back to where we were before. Cool. Oh, there it is. The shadows of the shoe to line up. Woo! Rejoice. Yay. I wish I knew what you were working on, but you probably can't tell us because of NDAs.
But I'm telling you, we're going to watch something and there's going to be shoes and laces in the water and we're going to know. We're going to know.
We're going to know. We're going to see it. We're going to be like, ah. Okay. It's a city at the bottom of the trees, but the trees in this world are so large that the sun doesn't reach the forest floor. Whose magic is the sun that plants there? Oh my god. That is fun. That is super fun.
It is interesting. Farmers and traders also come into the city and sell food and wares and such. What is this city export? Like for an entire city to have grown up around this kind of forest, they must have some like amazing resource or something. So curious. World building is so interesting.
I know. I love hearing about other people's worlds. And then I'm like, wow, you're so much more creative than I am.
Maybe we'll about other people's worlds because then I'm like, I'm using it for D&D.
You're not-
Who's a coward for what?
I don't know.
Is this warrior cats again?
Nope, we haven't talked about warrior cats in a hot minute, so. Ooh, deep rabbit hole. Ooh, I'm excited for this video. Feels like it's gonna be juicy tea. Hi, Jules. You did make both of the stream-ins. I feel like, are we gonna get another sprint in, or are we done for the day? Okay. Didn't think so. Cachet does some great live streams with other creators, and they tend to talk about a lot of POC. And I've been meaning to watch this as well. I need an opinion on a description. We're here at your beck and call. I don't know if you mean us or just
In general.
in general. Oh, here we go. Starting your job as an assistant to one of the most well-known students.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think there can be a way to rewrite it so the first sentence flows a little more easily. I think having the name Riley Austin in there breaks up the flow a little bit. Can you go back to that first comment, Katie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so starting.
Job as an assistant.
Okay, I think, okay, first of all, I think Charlie Madden, you need to have that be within the first sentence so we know who you're talking about. So should have been, Charlie, like rearrange the second sentence into the first sentence, something like Charlie Madden thought when she applied for the interview that being assistant to one of the most well-known CEOs in the romance industry, and then something like, but Riley, that would have been a piece of cake. And then but Riley Austin
Is a piece of shit.
like proved her wrong or something like that. I have to, hold on, will you go back to the second one? Starting her job as the assistant to one of the most well-known CEOs in the romance industry, Riley Austin. Yeah, that first sentence needs to be reworked because it's a little.
If you look at the comments on StreamYard, Wallace, you can look at them one after the other.
I am, but for some reason, it's better for when they're. Oh.
What about like when Charlie Madden, started her job as the assistant to one of the most well-known CEOs in the romance industry? She thought it would be a piece of cake, but she couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like saying the name of Riley Austin isn't super important in this moment because he's.
You can use that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more important aspect is the fact that he's one of the most, or
yes,
they're one of the most well-known CEOs in the romance industry.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with Katie. I think if this is kind of one of your first sentences in your story, introduce your main character, introduce the setup, which you've done a good job of, and then literally it can be within the next 2 or 3 sentences that you drop Riley's name. But I think having the 2 names so close together and with all the commas and stuff, we're getting a little lost in who's talking about who and what is what, I guess.
And before I read the second part, I thought Riley Austin was the assistant.
Yes.
Which is the other part that I think it's important that we know who the characters are. I thought this was like a description for like a back of a book or something.
Oh yeah.
Also, you may info dump all the time.
Yeah, give us an info dump.
Anytime. So
how was that helpful, Cad the Lad? Let us know.
Also. Love it.
I love the name Riley.
It is
a great name.
Like the girl from Inside Out.
It's because they worship. I thought of the guy from Eclipse.
I was reading that. Excuse me.
I was thinking of it. The guy from Eclipse. I just want to say that.
Fair enough.
It's because they worship the Bren tree, which is the tree before us, and they look like instructions.
Underground entrances.
Across the trees, and they go underground caves. So are they like dwarves? I mean, like, obviously they don't have to have dwarf aesthetic, but my first thought was dwarves, except in trees. So, like, elf dwarves. Oh, sorry. That's so fascinating and so fun.
Gotcha.
They must be like really good. They must be like really good climbers. They must climb really, really high because they live in trees. Anyway, that was very helpful. I knew it wasn't great, but I couldn't figure out where. So,
I really like your setting, Caitlin.
I agree.
A city at the bottom of a tree.
That sounds like a prompt.
It does.
I'm a fan.
I'd probably write about an anthill.
Anyway, we've almost been streaming for 3 hours.
We only did 50 minutes of sprinting.
Listen, everyone knows these are chatty. These are chatty streams.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna apologize.
I will. I'm so sorry we wasted your time.
I think there was a good blend of talking about writing related stuff and then also
there were good discussions.
Yeah.
Also, I totally agree.
Seconded.
Thirded.
I'm a terrible beta. I can't.
Denisha just like, don't bother me. Come on.
Like, no.
No, I love hearing about her story. I love her setting. I'm just a terrible beta reader. I just am a terrible person.
You are not a terrible person. Not everyone is made to be a beta reader. Oh my gosh. Cortana, go away. Ooh, in the city above the trees. Oh, they're known for climbing. That is so cool.
Oh, there's like, oh geez, these trees are actually like real big. They're like multiple layers.
They block out the sun, girl.
Yeah, they gotta.
Well, but okay, the trees of the rainforest block out the sun almost, but I think she's saying these are like thousands and thousands of feet high, because if you have cities in the tops of the trees and a city beneath the trees too, that's interesting. That's really cool. Okay, so Gaze Everywhere says, well, there's 4
continents. We only explore a small part of one continent and a big ass island that's governed by the Duke, main villain.
Okay.
The continent is like just a giant forest, and many people get lost in it, but none come out due to the Aeon Sadi, the first settlers of the continent, and Fae, and they love making deals. Ooh.
That sounds like a good world.
I'm a big fan. So, like, is the Duke a human or is he a Fae that has made some deals?
That's interesting.
Very similar to a group of elves in my novel. I love it. Everybody loves the trees. Everybody loves a good tree. I was thinking about how much some great skin from not having any sun damage. Oh, so true.
Yeah, but what does that vitamin D deficiency do to you, though?
Probably some shit stuff, I imagine. Conversation's wrong point. Aw, thank you, Crystal. Thank you, AS Runner. Sometimes I do feel like bad, but then I'm like, everyone who's here knows what we're like. So yeah, I really like this. I love Fae stories, especially when Fae are like chaotic neutral and making deals. I don't like any of these like, oh, I have feelings and I'm gonna fall for the really, young immortal girl with like, blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, give me Fae with teeth.
Blonde hair. Excuse me. Hold up.
Okay, it was just like, oh,
she's just not here for the sexy fairies.
I'm not here for sexy fairies. I'm not here for bedding fairies. Like, I want fairies with teeth. Yeah. I want fairies who are gonna rip your heart out if you cross them. Like, give me.
Excuse me, shameless self plug. Everybody in the comments, go to my Instagram and read my most recent chocolate short story.
Girl, I was opening. I was hanging it out. I was like, there you go.
No, those. If I were to continue, and like, it's so bad because, and I say this in the video that I made about it. But when you were like, oh, continue, I was like, no, I can't, because I have a limit for myself and I have to get through these. But I already have like in my brain all the workings of how the rest of the story would start. But yeah, no, these creatures I wrote about, they are not the bed and romantic type at all. It is, yeah.
I mean, they may be sexy, but you do not want to fuck them.
But they're not though. They're grotesque almost, like in the way, I mean, I write in the story that they
like
smile.
grotesque.
What?
Some people like grotesque.
That's true.
Monster.
I have a
Look at how many of us loved the Shape of Water creature. But yeah, I really like the details in your story.
Yeah.
Like you make them like, oh, I just love it.
Wow.
So good. If you haven't gone read it yet, what are you doing?
You know what's so good about your chocolate short story things is that if like this, like an idea really sparks for you, you have the basis for like a future novel. I think it's just so great.
It is. It's fun. It's a fun little experiment that also stresses me out all the time, but that's okay.
We love a good experiment that's stressful.
It's about pushing yourself, right? Challenging.
Yeah.
When Charlie Lowell got a job to one of the most well-known CEOs of the romance industry, she thought it would be a piece of cake. That's a lot more clear. A lot more clear. Yeah.
Much more concise.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
That's wild. Yeah. He really is kind of, it's a rainforest. Gotcha.
Ooh, rainforest elves.
This isn't Caitlin's story. This is different. I thought
Yeah, she said that's what they said. It's a very similar group of elves in my novel. They live in the trees.
I was confused. I thought this was Caitlin further explaining her world building, but that's just on me.
It's all right. I love a rainforest elf. That feels unique to me, and I'm a fan. There are two cities. That's why it's called the City Project.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Human that made deals to be immortal. Oh, it's one of my favorite tropes. It's one of my favorite tropes. It's in my book. Ooh.
Oh.
Good to know.
Chronically deficient. There you go, Caitlin.
Me too. I'm on Sunny Gummies, and my doctor, every time I get my blood work done, always looks at me aghast. She's like, "How are you functioning?" I'm like, "I'm not."
Bold of you to assume I am. Story of, I do not. I'm gonna have to look that up though. It sounds fun. I have not heard of that. Anyway, said we were going to end the stream like 5 minutes ago. Here we are, not doing that. Have vitamin D, so if they eat those, no deficiency. Oh, interesting.
Look at Caitlin. Hopefully, you're taking notes.
This is why I love talking with other writers, because so much good creative energy. It's great. Laura wrote a short story called Fairy Godmother. A dark fairy godmother stalks a girl, promising to grant wishes for a price of bones. Fills up his shadows and X-rays and photos.
That is
so
cool.
freaking cool.
Laura, oh my God. Where can I read it?
That sounds so good.
That is incredible. Oh my God. So fun. That is awesome. Get you a fairy who can do both.
Here's the thing. Writing Violet is that, like, I think so many people try to do the do both thing, but then once the romance starts, suddenly the male fairy becomes so hopelessly in love with the main girl that he just is completely marshmallowed, you know? Like, I would say, not sorry, Katie, but not to bring up ACOTAR and Sarah J. Maas, but the spoiler alert for those series, A Court of Thorns and Roses series, but the villain, like a sub-villain, not the main villain, but a sub-villain in the first book who literally physically abuses, you could argue almost sexually abuses, etc., our main girl ends up becoming the person she like ends up with. And his character in between the first and second book is so vastly different. And it's like brush aside, like, oh, he was just playing pretend to like help keep his people alive. I'm like, no. Some of the things you did were legitimately evil. I'm sorry. Like, you can't brush past that. Anyway, but yeah, so I think the problem is that I've yet to see one who can really do both well. And so if I was going to continue a story with fairies, I would just totally avoid the romance aspect. Because I think I would also fall victim to marshmallowing my romantic leads. So
You know what I think it is for me on why I don't read those types of stories? It's because that the main character is always like this 18-year-old girl, and this another person is like this ancient being with hundreds of years of lived experience. I'm just not for that. Like,
yeah,
can I get them with like another immortal, like a different immortal creature or something?
we've circled back to age gaps. It's an issue. If you think a 40-year-old and a 20-year-old wouldn't have a lot to talk about, what about a 500-year-old and an 18-year-old?
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think that's the other thing. Like, I just feel like when you have really young human characters with these ancient beings, there's just this inherent kind of disconnect unless you make one of them kind of humanize themselves or make the other one more like the ancient character. And I feel like it's less believable to make the younger character sympathize with the older character. So it's easier to make the older character become more human. As opposed, and then you don't have like what I would really love to see is like two ancient beings who have, this is similar to what you did, who have two very different philosophies on life, and then coming together. And I don't mind if that ends in romance, because then I feel like they're not sacrificing a portion of themselves to become something to fit with someone else.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So I'm okay with fairies getting it on, as long as it's not them humanizing themselves for a younger character, because I think it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And like that takes away the fun of the fae, right? Like, fae just operate by different rules, and we have to accept that. They don't have human morals, and you just have to accept that, because that's
like, I'm okay. Like, hot sexy fairies, fine, as long as they're just trying to get the character's name out of them so they can control them forever. You know what I mean? Like because fae are charming and they're fun and they're, they can be sexy, but like for their own gain. They're not gonna fall in love with some human girl or human boy.
They are not selfless creatures ever, basically.
No.
There's some, I mean, not because like, but like never mind. I was like, there's a fae in the audience being like, you bitch.
Just a secret fae is watching.
I'm going to prove you so wrong. My imagination is, I don't even know what it is. Anyway,
but oh my gosh, yes. Wait, hold on. I'm going to get back to the other comments because Laura put a bit of her story in, and I'm so excited. But Writing Violet, we need a Troublemakers Discord to talk about all our stories with each other.
I love that idea. I don't know
everyone.
I mean, I have a Discord. I don't know how to run a Discord.
Yeah,
I just set one up and then let it run.
Well, the awarding Discord took on a life of its own, babe.
Yeah, I have no clue what is going on over there.
We do need to make a Troublemakers Discord. That's gonna be our next. That's gonna be our next thing.
Made one.
Ooh.
You've already set one up.
Fun. Oh, everyone's here for the Discord.
I just told them to send it to one of us on Instagram. The link.
Yeah.
I could have said
Vale.
Okay.
You want that? Hold on. Wallace's story is kind of inspired by that. It's a little less ineffable husbands and more like.
Well, okay. You're getting it. You get a peek in at an early part of it, but I think like the plan was that eventually you get into, as the story goes on, it grows into an ineffable husbands type of thing where it is just a very deep bond. There's, but again, they're not marshmallows because one is Seelie and one is unseelie. But yeah, I don't want to, in case I do return to it, I don't want to fully spoil what happens.
Yeah.
But you can go read my chocolate short story on my Instagram or go watch the video. But
It's
That's
so
the
good.
vibe I was going for. You're so sweet, Katie. Thank you.
But I'm being genuine. Like, it's so good, and I really love it. And I think it's such a fun concept because, like I've told you a million times, like I've said a million times in this, I'm tired of Faye being marshmallowified and not having teeth and not eating people.
Well, you get both those things in my story.
Look at me being look at me promoting you. It's great. But and Ethical Husbands is, I think, something that works really well because Aziraphale and Crowley, works super well because they're both like the same age, but they are on two opposite sides of a philosophical debate.
Right.
And it works, and they have such chemistry, and they like bend to each other. And Good Omens is like the perfect immortal book.
It is, and it wouldn't be as fun if Crowley over time was like, maybe being an angel is the way things should be, and being righteous, etc. No, the fun is that there is this person with a totally different philosophy, or two people with totally different philosophies coexisting, not just coexisting, but loving each other. And I just think that's beautiful.
It is. And it's something that's done really well in the show because there are definitely times where I forgot about Crowley's nature, and then he would like show his nature for a second, and I was like, "Oh yes,
yeah!"
Like when he traps the guy in the telephone. Yes, and then there's like moments where like it's just so good. Anyway, I could talk about Good Omens forever.
Wow, the comments are popping off. Hold on.
What? They are. I need to scroll back up because I want to come to this one. Not that one. This one. Ooh, Angela. The word caressed my 6-year-old mind in the times between sleeping and awake, prickling my skin despite the thick blankets and a monstrous pile of teddy bears hugging me goodnight. She was here again.
Oh, girl. Oh, man. Your writing style is right up my alley. Hell yes. Come on.
Yes. She posted more, I think. Oh, so she submitted it to regular. Hope it wins. It's, I'm already loving it.
Yeah, that's such a great, I don't know if that's your opening image, but it's a good one if it is.
Literally made of magic. Ooh.
That's cool.
That is fun. One day I need to write the retelling of Tamlin the poem. They're fae thieves in memory loss. And museum curator is all like, I am done with all of you. I love that. I now want to read both of those books. Oh, I was considering adding a character who is dark skinned but has a deficiency, so they look almost gray to contrast the paleness of the white people. That is interesting. How, I think, I don't know how that, because like being pale is literally an evolutionary trait of being in like colder climates and like away from the sun. Like the farther you get north, the whiter people will be, like if you don't have globalization. So I mean, unless they like travel down there and have lived down there for a really long time, and over time they've become, or like it's like a second generation thing. You know what I mean? Like it's generational, like they're like more recent inhabitants of the city, if that makes sense. So I don't know how old your world is either. I don't know how old the city is. I assume it's got to be pretty old though if they're living underground. But
yes,
I don't know.
Miranda. I know.
What's Miranda saying?
Those division weeds.
I had to get my heating pad and some ibuprofen.
Oh. It's me. I'm the
You're watching this? Okay, well, you don't know my real name. I mean, you don't. But, oh well.
You tell me Wally Smell isn't on your birth certificate? Oh my gosh. Cancel her immediately.
She's lying. She's lying to us all. Ooh. Working on my novel for 10 years and I realized the age gap between my two characters is very awkward and possibly problematic.
Interesting.
Interesting. She's very happy about your story. Ooh. More of Laura's story. She became invisible, her hand rushing toward the side of my head. Something was inside my ear tingling. Something twisting, cracking, splintering. Knives were stabbing deep inside and audible. And the audible snap harmonized with my agonized scream. Black spots filled my vision. I fell to the floor. Angela. Mom ran through the open door, ignoring the tall, dark lady with wings. Chuckles drew my gaze, and I saw what looked like a small string of 3 tiny bones in the creature's hand, bloodless, but broken and jagged, ripped from the inside of my ear.
Oh!
She popped them in her mouth and began to crunch.
Oh my god! This is
I love
hard.
it. It's so good. I love Good Omens. Okay, there are people that move into the city, still working world building. Number 453. So who knows? Oh, so good. We do not know your name. I've just been thinking in my brain as Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj comes to our streams, guys.
Love it. Yeah. All right. Bye, Caitlin. See you soon, some other time. I agree. A masterpiece. Okay. We've been streaming for 2 hours and almost 15 minutes. Are we going to be done now?
Hours, babe.
3 hours.
3 hours. I can't read.
You're fine.
We shall be done because I really actually need to write today.
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
Go to the beach.
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
Yes, it's so good.
Crossing our
Okay.
fingers for your story to win because it sounds so good.
It does. Okay.
Oh,
gonna be
wait,
done.
everyone, I posted the link to the Discord.
Oh, yes. Hold on. So, oh God, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There's people just so many talking. So much talking. I love it. Oh, why am I blind? There it is.
So, yeah.
What up?
So join this Discord. We can all chat and have fun and sit and work with things. Anyway, anyone want to do an outro?
We love you all. Thanks for chatting with us.
Make sure to
Oh my gosh,
subscribe.
he has a video coming out in an hour. No,
Half an
not an
hour.
hour.
Yes.
Half an hour.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. I have a new video posting. Video every single day in February.
I'll watch your video
Also-
from yesterday because it was super good.
Yes. But also, Laura is streaming tonight at 9 p.m.
Ooh,
to get your words in.
get your
Go to
words
Laura's
in.
channel.
Yes. Perfect. We
Mhm.
love it.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
We'll see you next week. We're going to be on Steve's channel next week. So yeah. Bye. We had so much fun. Oh, I can't end. Oh, I'm a disaster.
Our hands are getting tired.